So therefore, our second question here is this one, trigonometry 2, form 4 work. So therefore, you have this 3 tan squared x minus 4 tan x minus 4 equals to 0. And then for the range between 0, the values of x between 0 and 180. So that will be the answer. The value of x should not go beyond 180 degrees. So therefore, let's start. Solution for this. So 3 tan squared x minus 4 tan x minus 4 equals to 0. In this case, you can identify and see tan x is common. Tan x is common. So you say, let tan x be a letter like k. Be a letter like k. So this one becomes tan squared. So you say 3k squared. Go, this is tan x squared. This is 3k squared minus 4k minus 4 is equals to 0. Minus 4 is equals to 0. Minus 4 is equals to 0. Minus 4 equals to 0. So therefore, solve this one quadratically. You can solve by, let's see whether it is possible to use factors, product, and sum method. AC, 3 times negative 4, that's negative 12. Do you have any two numbers you can multiply to get negative 12? And then when you add, you get a sum of negative 4. Yes. So AC is 3 times negative 4. This becomes negative 12. The sum in this case becomes negative 4. So therefore, you say negative 6 and 2. Those are the only two numbers. The two factors of 12, of negative 12, that you multiply and you get negative 12. When you add, you get minus 4. So therefore, replace this. So factorize. Like that. So get 3k squared minus 6k plus 2k minus 4 is equal to 0. So in this case, we have replaced minus 4k with minus 6k plus 2k. Factorize now the first two, the last two. So therefore, this becomes 3 is common. You get k minus 2 plus this 2, k minus 2 is equals to 0. K minus 2 is equals to 0. So therefore, take your value of, take these factors, 3k plus 2, and you take k minus 2 equal to 0. Take this one, and this one, the two factors are equal, so you take one of them. You take one of them. Then you can equate them to 0. You can equate them. So take this 3k plus 2 equal to 0, and k minus 2 is equals to 0, like that. So solve the values of k. Solve the value of k there. Therefore, you get your two factors, 3k plus 2 equals 0, and k minus 2 equals 0. So take this one, 3k, take this on this side, equals minus 2. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So our k is equal to minus 2 over 3. And k minus 2 equals 0. So our k is equals to 2. Our value of k is equals to 2 here. So if you get tan inverse, we can start with this minus. The values of kx should not go beyond 180. Draw your unit circle, ASTC. So when you have the value of k equals negative 2, so therefore it means that tan x is equal to negative 2 over 3. You check where tan is negative. In the second and in the fourth quadrant. In the second and fourth quadrant. So can you get tan inverse of 2 over 3? Not negative. So this negative is just to guide you to know where does this value of x lie. Is it in the first, second, third, or fourth quadrant? So because it is negative, the value must lie in the first and in the fourth quadrant. But remember, the value of x will not go beyond 180. So get shift tan inverse, shift tan of 2 over 3. 2 over 3. You get that x is equal to 33.69. 33.69. But this is an acute angle. This is an acute angle where tan is positive. This one here, in the first quadrant. But you require where tan is negative. Tan is negative in the second and in the fourth. So what do? You say, in the second quadrant, where tan is negative, you say it is 180 minus theta. So in this case, it is 180 minus 33.69. 180 minus 33.69. So this becomes 146.31 degrees. This is one of the angles. One of the angles that you have there. It is 146.31 degrees. Because it is tan is negative in the second quadrant. So you can see in our case we have got tan inverse of 2/3. So not negative 2/3. This negative, it is to guide us to know in which quadrant does this value lie. So get 146.31. So that you get that. That's answer number 1. So our value of x should not go beyond 180. You go to the second one. So our tan of x is equal to 2. Are we able to get tan inverse of 2? Yes, we get tan inverse of 2. Tan inverse of 2, you get is 63.43. So in this case, because this value is positive, the examiner wants here to get, we get to know where is tan positive. And the value of x should not go beyond 180. That was the instruction. Should not go beyond 180. You can see there. It should not go beyond 180. So therefore, what do you do? In the first quadrant, tan is positive. In the second quadrant, tan is negative. So you cannot go to the second quadrant. And again, the first and second quadrant lies between 0 and 180. So our angle cannot go beyond 180. Because in the third quadrant, it is between 180 and 270. The fourth quadrant is between 270 and 360. So you cannot find that. You can't find that. So therefore, you take this angle, tan inverse of 2 to get 63.43, and that is the second angle required. The two angles required. So it is we have the angles are 146.31 degrees and 63.43 degrees. These are the only two angles that you require. You don't require any other. So this one 63 when tan is positive, and it is positive only in the first quadrant. Because in the third quadrant, the angle will be greater than 180. The value of x will be greater than 180, and you don't want an angle beyond that. Then this one 146.31 is the required angle when tan inverse or tan x is equal to 2/3. Is equal to 2/3. So therefore we get 33.69. But this is acute. We want where tan is negative. It is the second quadrant where we say 180 minus theta. 180 minus 33.69. You get 146.31. And those are the two. Those are the two answers.